Hello, everybody. I want to talk about Scorpios and their space because this tends to be a really live topic and something that people just don't understand. And they're always wondering why we cut you off, why we leave a relationship, why you don't hear from us for a while we take steps back. So, in the beginning of a relationship, even if you meet a Scorpio and you have a great rapport and you're just having a great time all day, the next time you see them doesn't mean that you could jump all over them and think that you're best friends. Scorpio will sometimes ignore you completely the next time, and that'll just throw you off because you're like, wow, we had such a great time. We hung out all day, we were laughing, blah blah blah. But this is their way of putting you back into your boundary. You're not going to take that relationship and define it. You're not going to be the one to define it. You're not going to be the one in the power seat. This is how they do it, and they're very passive people. I explained this to you over and over again. Scorpios are introverted, so intro means inside. They don't have to tell you what they're doing. They're not going to tell you their motives. They're not. All of this is not on display, and they, out of everyone, have the most amazing poker face. Like you don't know what's going on, and you won't a lot of the time. And that's how they like it. They're private people and they like to keep their power. So you're not going to have it by trying to define the relationship. And so this is sometimes you'll see it, and they'll be really really nice to you and everything else, and it's totally genuine. They don't waste their time bullshitting around or trying to make someone like them or anything like that. They will step back and see. They tiptoe around their relationships. They want to see what your angle is. Some of you are very weird. You have a lot of different angles with Scorpio, and I really don't know why yet, but I know that there's a huge population of people that have this twisted idea of trying to conquer our power or make us fall in love with them so they can be in charge, or um, I don't know what it is, but I see some YouTube videos that are like how to make Scorpio fall in love with you, or how to take their power and all that. Just I have no idea the people who are doing these videos, if they're hurt little souls or whatever it is. But there's some people out there who really have low self-esteem, and they want to and this is just in general, this is not particularly with Scorpio, but you'll see people and they're like, I want to make someone fall in love with me so I can have the power. Or they'll say stuff like they want someone to love them more than they love them. This is all kind of like power driven, but it's all stems to you don't feel good enough to be loved, and so you need to be in the power seat. You need to have someone weaker than you, or love you more so that you can feel justified of that relationship or so. So anyway, my point was that a lot of people have twisted things, and I hear it all the time. I want to be in charge of the relationship, or they get comfortable with a Scorpio and then they try to start taking power. I don't know what that's about, and it's strange, but it does happen. So the funny thing about that is that people forget that Scorpios are feelers, and that's all we do. That's all we do is live in our little eighth house of inner transformation, of pulling things out of people that they don't even know that they have. That's the thing about us. We're transformative, and we can always just be in your presence and pull things out of you that you never knew, even that you didn't even want to see, that you're afraid to see. We're the deepest part of the zodiac that deals with things that are hidden, that are truly hidden, and things that people fear, things that people don't want to face. And within a relationship, all of that comes out. We just pull it all out, and it's so subtle. I mean, you'll find yourself revealing things to us and telling things that you haven't told anyone, and that's what we do naturally. It's just what we do, and we can feel people's fears. We can feel their insecurities. We know when they have hidden tactics. We know when you're trying to use us. We know when you want something from us. We know when you're trying to attain things, and it it just never works because we're a step ahead. We can feel we can feel your intentions. And so for someone to be around a Scorpio and think that, and your intention is to get us to put our guard down so that you can have this power and this control just so you can talk about it, is chasing your own tail, because we already know that that's what you're doing. When you have intentions, you give off vibrations, you give off inner signals. Just the way you respond, just your energy itself is just everywhere, and we could just smell it. And it's so funny how people will think that they have us tricked or fooled, and they're like, no, I'm gonna really hang around this person and get them to fall in love. Like, you're just, and it never works, you know. It's strange. I'm just like, how's that working out for you with that Scorpio, that you intentionally thought that you were going to get to fall in love so that you can be in charge, so that you, I mean, it's just some twisted sick stuff. So anyway, the Scorpios, you know, in the beginning, that's why we dance around. We're like, look at you, look what you're doing. As soon as we spot it, as soon as we spot what the intention is, and it could be genuine, it could be ingenuine, but whatever it is, as soon as we spot that, then we say, oh, well, let me back up off this person. And that's why sometimes you'll meet one, have a great time, or what you consider to be a great time, and you'll never hear from us again. We'll cut you off clean, or some will take baby steps out and just kind of release you back into the wild where they found you, and just leave you there. So that is kind of like a new relationship, whereas you'll see them back up or leave, or if it's great, if they figure they'll continue, then they'll continue. Now, if you're within a relationship with them and you know, you don't hear from them for a day or two, that's just taking time out. That's just taking a space to rejuvenate, get our shit together, which has nothing to do with you. I always explain this to people. They're so arrogant, and they think our space has something to do with them. And it's like, no, we're not even thinking about you. It's not about you. It's about what we're doing. You know, we care about our own transformation. If you can't keep up with our transformation, you know, that'll be another releasing, and you'll notice that with time. It'll be gradual. But Scorpios, you know, when they attach and bond with someone, they really do, and it's with everything. It's 100%. It's not like other signs that jump around and maybe half this and that. Ours is all of it. So if a Scorpio is absent, you're in a relationship and they're absent for weeks and weeks at a time, that means your relationship is pretty much finished. They are done with you, and they're done. And you can't be surprised. I mean, something happened in the relationship. Like I said in my other videos, Scorpio, maintain a relationship with Scorpio, why your relationship never lasts with Scorpio. You can go through the steps of where you got comfortable, overstep your boundaries. Scorpio will always step back when someone oversteps their boundaries. Always, 100% of the time. 100%. You know, there'll be days and days, like if you could be really close friends with them, you overstep your boundaries, you know, either a few things will happen. They'll just cut throat. Some of them will just block, you know, just completely block you out. Some will go off on you and then block you out. Some will gradually release you back out. They will not have you overtake, you know, you won't overpower the relationship. I don't care what sign you are. I don't care if you're the most extroverted sign. You know, you could be loud, you could be aggressive. It does not matter. They will completely just get rid of you, and nice and quietly. Some may be loud. I don't know. Someone nice and quietly cut you off cold, and that's the way it is. So it's never an instance where it's just everything was wonderful, everything was perfect, and then boom, I haven't heard from them in a month. If you haven't heard from Scorpio in a month, you're not going to hear from them again. And that's it. Or if you haven't heard from them in a month and then they just come back, I would be very careful. I would be extremely careful, because I'm going to tell you one thing. If a Scorpio cuts you off cold and clean, or even if they cut you off gradually, that means some shit went down and they already made up their mind that you were not for them. They don't want a relationship with you, period, the end. Now, if they resurface, that means one or two things is going to happen. If they resurface, like something went wrong in the relationship. Maybe you cheated, you disrespected them, you tried to take over, get some power in the relationship, you just turned them off in some way. I have no idea. There could be so many different things. But if they resurface back, I would be very careful and I would question that, because Scorpios, like I explained in my video, Scorpios Sting or Revenge, when they release and come back, it's kind of like they're not finished with you, because sometimes, depending on how that situation ended, or depending on why they ended that relationship, they can feel dissatisfied with the results, completely dissatisfied with uh, getting a certain revenge or making you feel a certain way. So if you haven't seen my video, Scorpio Sting or Revenge, please go look at it. It's very important. Very, very important. A lot of Scorpios come back to tail you along, make you think that they're in love again or they want a relationship. And they're really there just to hurt you. And this will kind of be like an ongoing cycle. I know I've done it myself. Um, and, especially if it's like a Scorpio with a Scorpio moon, because that's where all your emotions are. And that's just like the worst placement for that sign, because things are a lot deeper than Scorpios who have like a fire sign moons or earth sign moons. Usually the water sign moons are the most, could be the most venomous, because we don't release everything completely. It's not like all over. It could be like 10 years and like it's still the same wound. Now it might not be activated, but it's the same wound as when whatever happened, that situation. It's the same, like if you pick with it, it's the same type of hurt. So they can keep coming back. And I personally would never completely end a relationship with a Scorpio and then go back to that relationship. I'm too smart for that shit. There's nothing that can make me go back to regurgitate some bullshit. Like, I don't know, cut clean and then that's it. Don't fuck with me, I don't fuck with you. But that's kind of it's an unwritten rule between Scorpios. We just know not to mess with each other like that. If I don't like you, you don't like me, that's fine. But don't get in my face and don't try and be friends again, because it's not going to be the same. Because I know I'm going to bring up some shit and then that's going to be it. But for other people who don't know any better, I'm telling you, be very careful when they keep coming back, because they don't want you. And it's not going to be the same. There's always going to be some picking in the wound, and there's a reason when they come back. And they don't come back to hash it because they don't release things. They don't release hurt. They don't release forgive. Whatever happened, they don't release that incident. So I would be very, very careful about that and be like, I wonder why they're tiptoeing around like this, and just leave that shit. So I hope this video was helpful. Please see my other videos in combination with this one to answer your questions, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.